one is called a JSCAP, Joint Strategic Capability Planning. The U.S. and the combatant commanders, Chain of Command, has been planning for any type of deterrence and retaliation to the use of nuclear weapons. In fact, there's small cells within the staff that do that. They've been doing this since before the war started, and they certainly ramped this up after the war occurred. In fact, there was a 28 February article in the New York Times talking about a red team. This is something that occurs all the time in military planning, that you plan for contingencies and see if they do this, then we will do that. And not only the contingency itself, but something called branch and sequels. If this happens and then something else happens, what do we then do to counter that? So it's a long stream of planning mechanisms, and whereas I can't tell you today what is going on inside these planning cells, I will tell you, having been involved with them in the past, that there are multiple contingencies for what Russia might do and how we would respond to that, and in fact, how to prevent them from doing things that they might do. And that's why the intelligence of watching them very closely to see if they're moving any nuclear weapons is so critically important.
But because you've been involved in these in the past, General, I mean, is there any way that the U.S. would respond in kind and use some sort of tactical nuclear weapon to hit Russia?
Well, it brings me into my second acronym for you, Allison. You'll like this one. This is non-military. It's called DOTS. Depends on the situation. It really depends on what Russia is thinking about doing, that we get through an intelligence feed or see them doing things on the ground. Would we respond? Potentially. I don't think that would be the number one priority or the number one course of action we would execute, but it is certainly on the table. And like I said, for any kind of contingency to counter Russian action, there are literally probably dozens, if not hundreds, of reactions or pro-actions that we would take in response to that.
What about that offer from Ukraine that they would share their target list with the U.S. if that would sort of mollify the U.S. in terms of offering up longer-range missiles? Is that a good plan?
Well, one of the things, it's interesting because there's a hue and cry for HIMARS. And I'd like to just clarify a couple of things. HIMARS are the trucks that the missiles are launched from. They can either launch rockets like Dimlers, the guided munitions. There are 6 of them on every pod on the back of these HIMARS trucks. For an attack them, it's 1 missile per pod. So you're trading 6 to 1. Okay, let's give more math. There are 18 HIMARS, U.S. HIMARS, currently inside of Ukraine that we have given them. You can either shoot